found out so many
I think
glitches for that fucking
I think
game.
it would be
It
way
is, it
easier
is,
if
it's
you
not
wanted to
worth
do a
it.
Ren Chow to, like, if you're doing a Sonic one, to just play Knuckles in Pumpkin Hill and go get the 2 skeleton dogs, because they don't alter the form of the Chow and they give you a ton of run. I feel like that would be like the easiest way to do it without having to spend so many times trying to set up the duplication glitch.
If you could like lock the
Yeah,
Chow in place,
give it
it would be
food.
so much easier.
And it'll stop for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, but you know, I mean like a little bit more.
So
Nah,
I don't remember the name of the song, but
something bugging you.
Unknown for Me, that's what it's called. So Unknown for Me is such a good song, but the actual version of it sucks because it feels like the one guy who's doing the rap sections isn't actually trying. It does not seem to get into it until the last 3 seconds of the song. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Give it your best.
Oh no.
Give it your best shot.
I don't like Chaos 4 either. I do. It takes too long.
Oh, oh no. The king.
They say "oh no" so many times in this so far.
Yep.
A drinking game every time they say "oh no," dead of alcohol poisoning by the end of this.
Ah, Eggman.
Oh. Like taking candy from a baby. That's a Chaos Emerald.
That's 2 Chaos Emeralds, you fucking dumbwit.
That's right.
Yeah.
You practically gave them to me.
I like how if you just railroad straight
Right
through
there, creep. You can't get away
Sonic
with
story, you won't have any backstory.
Don't tell me Eggman tricked you
On-
again. Me? What about you? Way to go, knucklehead.
What does he mean by what about you? What did Sonic get tricked by?
No.
Knuckles started that fight and he caused that problem.
Yeah.
But yet that's only 1 Chaos Emerald. Is this slippery, slimy
These are
bastard?
for you, my friend.
I like how they don't... Yeah, Chaos 4. You never do like a Chaos 3, you never do a Chaos 5. It goes 1, Knuckles fights 2,
Man, no one ever cuts us
this
any
is where you
slack.
fight 4, and then 6 is
Oh yeah, this
basically the end of
bounces
the game.
around a lot. That's right.
And then 7 is the final boss of the game.
I
remember this.
fucking hate this boss fight. Is my least favorite part of this fucking
Yeah,
game. I hate
I
this
also
so
hate
much.
it too, because
Me
it just
too.
takes so long. Like, what's the point of having you jump around on these lily pads either? Like, you could literally just fucking chill out in the water for a little bit.
Yeah. I remember being stuck on this for days.
Also, I like how the first shockwave he does doesn't even go over the lily pads, and then any other one afterward does. And apparently it's completely random whenever he decides to, like, surface. Which I thought was weird, because it never felt like that whenever I played these games. I guess I always just got lucky with his patterns.
Well, if you look, he destroyed 2 pads. Surface.
There's also an attack that he can sometimes do, where he splits off into balls. Oh, yeah, here it is. I guess you never fight Chaos 1 either.
The first cast you encounter has no
Yeah,
emerald,
he's
right?
Chaos. That's called Chaos 0 in the title, I think. You never fight him as Chaos 1. You fight him as 2. Do 1, 2, or 0, 2, 4, 6, 7.
That last fight though with Chaos is definitely makes this entire game worth it.
Yeah. That attack doesn't even hurt you either. What's the point of this boss? Please.
He's just not fucking with you.
I went up for a second there. Please. Go!
Hey, I'll play with you some other
If I would have missed that, I would have been so sad. Sky Chase. A lot of these stage names also share with other Sonic games. Like Ice Cap is from Sonic 3.
They reuse like a lot of like
They use a
not
lot of
assets
music.
is the wrong word. Reuse a lot of names, music,
Yeah.
and like overall in Sonic genre.
Yeah, which is alright. It's not like they're just copying it. It's like an established area.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we're literally on Angel Island, and on Angel Island there's Sandopolis, there's Ice Cap, and both of those.
They keep it
stages
pretty
are in
good
this
to
game.
like.
Till we meet again, my friend.
It's pretty well laid out. Like there's no like
Yeah.
inconsistencies.
I think the Sonic X take on it is pretty interesting, but it's hard to keep the same. I like how shittily textured the egg carrier is.
It looks way more HD than everything else. Like, I think the entire budget for this game went to the egg carrier.
And it's still pretty garbage.
It doesn't look like everything else though, so it's like garbage, but it looks more high quality.
Yeah.
Let's get going.
Like, compared to how everything else looks, it makes it look bad in comparison, even though technically it is actually better.
Sonic, wait here for a second.
Yep, I'm gonna be doing a lot of waiting in this stage there, Tails boy. Oh, shit. That's fine.
What?
I
forgot
like
about
how
this.
I like how this basically just means that Ronnie's gonna see all the fucking bullshit. Dude, should I do Big the Cat next?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Big the Cat's next. So Big the Cat could literally be the fastest or the slowest in all three, and Sonic has the most stages, so and he has to deal with Casinoopolis. The bad version of Casinoopolis.
Let's go.
So the fact that Big the Cat, who has 3-4 stages, can take longer is scary.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Don't you fight Chaos as Big the Cat? Do you do a boss
Yes.
fight as Big the Cat? Chaos 2, right?
6. You throw
Six,
your
okay.
throw your fishing rod into Chaos, and you have to catch Froggy. And if you're in the right spot,
That's right.
if I'm remembering correctly, as long as I just hold down right, I literally have to do nothing this stage.
Okay, never mind. Maybe I did
It's
play
just a
this game
glorified
either close
autoscroller.
to the end or did end it, just didn't realize it because I remember all of this.
This is very early in the game because it bounces around a lot when you play the different characters,
Oh, does it?
right? Because like Chaos 4 just developed, and when you go to Knuckles, you fight Chaos 2. So like, and you go back in time before you do that. I'm
You
pretty
don't-
sure.
Well, they do the flashbacks, but the Back in Time isn't actually a stage, but Lost World is in the same area as it,
Yes.
which I knew what you meant whenever you're talking about it. I love Lost World as well.
I remember this
played-
stage being difficult-ish.
Yeah, and look how easy it is. Just hold down left, and you may take the occasional shot, but you don't really have to do anything.
I don't know why, but I've always had this feeling as long as I've played Sonic. I want to punch Tails in the fucking face.
Early Tails, I kind of do too, just because he's so whingy.
I think Adventure 2 Tails is alright because he's got like the mech suit, but he's just
Yeah.
fucking useless every other game, essentially. So I'm like, he has a real punchable face, you know? It's like really dramatic music. Nothing's happening.
We did it.
Woo!
Yeah, way to go! You held down left.
By the way, for earlier, it is Chaos 0, Chaos 2, Chaos 4, and Chaos 6 that you fight.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just confirming
they don't
that.
call it Chaos 7, but the last boss is
Perfect
Chaos.
Chaos.
7. Yeah. Perfect Chaos is Chaos 7.
When are we gonna get a Shadow the Hedgehog remaster? Never.
I don't know. I've never actually beaten Shadow the Hedgehog. My experience on the full game is watching through it. The last boss looks like it's the highest quality part of the game.
I think the story is very weird for the game, but they took a different step. You know, they were like, let's do something. I think it's a better game than this game, but the story's not great.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not.
Look how long it took him to start moving.
I wonder if he's okay.
This kid doesn't even
Hold
say
my
anything
beer.
either.
Let me just walk in place.
Dude, you had to think.
Alright.
A swig.
Oh,
Hi, Pumpkin. What do I do again? Is this the Amy section? Oh, it's the Amy section.
Yeah.
Sonic,
Well, I mean, Twinkle Park's cool.
long time no see.
Amy.
Duh.
What's wrong with you?
I like the
anyway?
last time that you see Amy, she looks completely different.
Listen, this
And
guy
her name's
seems to
also
be in
Rosie.
trouble, so you need to be his bodyguard for a while.
You must be kidding.
If you don't, we're just gonna tag along anyway.
Why did it hold so long? Also, where did it go?
yeah.
No trains are currently.
I mean, I know in the cutscene with if you're playing as Amy, Sonic fucking zooms away, but she's just gone.
What is Amy technically? Like, what's her
She's
race?
a hedgehog.
She is
Yeah.
useless. Hedgehog.
0.
Eggman's robot's on the loose.
No problem. He's just a chunk of cheesy hardware.
It really holds a while.
And like throughout the game, like I said, you can see where it starts to improve. So it's like, why didn't they go back and just touch up the stuff that looked bad earlier on in the game?
Amy! Wait!
Because, you know, little work is possible, little payout is possible for the most profit.
That girl
I don't
is
know.
such
That
a-
early on games, I at least give them the benefit of the doubt where it's just rough.
You would think that like the early parts of the game would be the best part. I mean, I know it's because probably they worked on the first parts first, so like they're better at it by the end of it. But like, do you want to drag someone into the game? You want to get them hooked right away, not like at the end of the fucking game.
That's what I was saying too. So like, there's a big thing that I have that frustrates. Sorry, that fucked me up because it didn't jump into the thing. There's just a couple of people who like talk about games where it's like they talk about how there's like an entry into like the game starting to be a lot more fun. And it's like I would really prefer that the game started out fun, you know, instead of having to wait for the game to get fun. Like, shouldn't the game bring you into it at the beginning and not later on in the game? Shouldn't it immediately be fun? I forgot.
Well, I mean, I like games that have like several gates, right? So like you can't access a lot of like a decent amount of the content when you first start off, but you can still have fun. And then,
Yeah, like the
more
content
you
that
play,
you
the
do
more
have
you
is
unlock.
so better.
Well, here's the problem with the game you're talking about currently, since you're playing it, is the fact that you got to realize this again was like the first time they really did something with like a 3D Sonic like this. So it's more or less they were trying to adjust people to this kind of gameplay and this kind of game style, as opposed to just let's kick it off right away. I mean, yeah,
I'm not saying
games
this isn't
nowadays
fun.
can do
I
it
love
because games like this have been out for decade or two, actually 2 decades now. So
Somehow they're
I mean,
worse than this.
Huh?
Somehow they're worse than this.
But
Well, take a look for like what you're saying there, Ronnie, like Fallout. So Fallout 1 and 2 in tactics were completely different from Fallout 3. And Fallout 3 was still a pretty well-produced game, but it was their first 3D not open world, but 3D type of game that they made that wasn't like Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics. And they did pretty good. I mean, it was buggy as hell, just like this game, but like at least it had a good story. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, some games aren't about the story. I mean, Sonic
I don't
has
remember
never been
what
about
way I
the
have to
story.
hold. I hope I do the right roll. I'm too scared because I don't want to do that beginning section again, but you can actually go out through the back and jump a certain direction and basically be at the end of the stage, but I don't remember what direction to hold. So I'm not going to do that. Speedrunners hate him. Why did that only do 2? Speedrunners hate him. I never understood what those fucking jelly things were. Why is that only 2?
I think they're supposed to be like imperfect chaos or like shitty chaoses.
That's in Adventure 2.
Yeah, but they kind of like resemble them, is what I mean.
They have artificial chaos.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Why? Okay. I didn't think I was gonna hit that. So I think you land up like over here somewhere. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention it, but the music in the karting section there is actually also from 3D Blast. Can I not get stuck? I guess I can't. The music, so I don't know about you guys, but the music is just completely non-existent because of this fucking engine sound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
I can't hear the music right now because all I hear is just.
I can hear the flute.
Yeah, I can hear the flute of the merry-go-round, and that's it.
That's all.
Hit it. Hit it. It sucks too, because this is a really good theme. I like this
Fucking
theme a lot.
Peach's Castle.
Stairs.
You know, it's,
They had like all the ability to make. I mean, it's still decent. It's just like the worst Sonic game. Besides,
Call it the worst.
well,
No.
we wouldn't. I mean,
I have you seen?
06.
And this is probably an overused complaint, but like, have you seen the newest Sonic game? Have you seen
I haven't.
Sonic
Dude.
Forces?
No.
It's
I haven't
bad.
bought a new game in so long.
they gave it for free on PlayStation Plus. The last
So-
one.
The gameplay since like, I guess kind of Sonic Rush with the boost formula has basically just been auto-scroller simulators where you just hold forward and boost.
Pretty
And
much.
Sonic Forces is the worst perpetrator of this. It looks like they had a gimmick that they started with and then didn't stick through it midway. Like, the initial advertising of Sonic Forces was that it was basically going to be Generations 2. And then there's 4 stages with Classic Sonic in it. And the physics suck.
Sonic's dead.
It's been dead for a while. Like,
No, like Sonic dies in the very beginning of that game.
he doesn't
just
die.
like here.
The characters think that he dies,
Spoilers.
but man, the game's been out for 2 years. If no one knows how the fuck the game goes, then
Dude, I
fuck
can't even tell you the last new game that I bought.
you.
I think that literally-
Sonic Mania was really good,
I'll tell you the last new game that I bought.
and
When did
because
this come out?
Sonic Mania was really good, and it wasn't made by Sega's team. It was made by a group of people who make fan games that was hired by Sega.
So the last time I bought a new game was March 22nd, 2019. It was Shakiro Shadows Die Twice. It was the last time.
My most recent game is Animal Crossing, and
No.
I've actually
have a
been
Switch.
enjoying it. You should get a Switch eventually. I mean, right now they're actually apparently out of stock across the country. So
That's because
Well,
everyone's staying home and now everyone was like, hey!
Animal
buy
Crossing
one.
came out. That's why.
I went to GameStop, right? And I saw this thing. I went to GameStop like a few days before I went. Like, okay, so I went to GameStop. I saw a sign. It said trade in your PS4. You get $240 trade-in credit for the Nintendo Switch. I was like, bet. So I go back like 3 days later, and like he was like, oh, well that sign's actually like false. The corporate makes us put it up, but that's not actually how much we give you. And I'm like, well, what's the? He was really nice about it. The guy with the sales associate was like really pleasant, but like apparently corporate GameStop just like puts up signs that are just lies. I mean, I've always hated GameStop, but like
yeah, I
fuck GameStop in
also
particular now.
GameStop is like
It's false
mostly the
advertising,
only-
though. They have
it
to
is.
honor that.
Yes, yeah, right?
They have to. Like, it's actually against the Better Business Bureau to do shit like that. Like, you actually can get in serious trouble and pay extreme fines for putting up a sign that's wrong.
Like,
Well, I
I
wasn't gonna
fucking
give
hate
this random
GameStop,
GameStop
but
before.
literally, it's
I would have been
basically
like, listen,
the
dude,
only...
unless you want me to call the Better Business Bureau, you're gonna like, you know, do this.
I'm not.
I'm sorry.
I'm not like. I'm assertive, but I'm not like that much of it. Like I'm not like that.
That's like saying you have a gallon of milk for sale, right? Yes, it's $4.25, right? Yes, here's $4.25. It's actually $7. That's not what your sign says.
But I was already on the so like I was okay with it because I was like, oh okay, well the Switch doesn't have Netflix anyway, so I'll just keep my PS4 for Netflix.
They have Netflix.
The
Switch doesn't have
No,
Netflix.
the Switch doesn't have Netflix.
Really?
Yeah.
It has
They
Hulu.
only recently got YouTube on it. Even. They were really far behind on getting the streaming services on for whatever reason. Or maybe Hulu just paid them not to put Netflix on it. I don't know.
The Switch is like overall kind of. I mean, it's like cool, but it still has like behind tech.
Here's the thing. I think
No,
they.
it's pretty state of the art.
I wouldn't necessarily say behind
PS5
in tech so much as they were focused more on video games because that's what they sell, a video game console, not an everything console.
Speaking of, a good example of that is I heard someone talking about how they were seeing like the next gen of like Xbox and PlayStation consoles, and instead of showing like new games, they were talking about how you can play older games better scaled. how they were showing nothing but like old games, like 8-year-old games that just looked better on the new console, and it's like, but what about new content?
Well, dude,
But it looks better.
the gaming industry is a mess right now. We like.
Oh yeah.
It's just overall, dude. It's because we've had 5, 6, 7 years of abuse from like pre-release alphas, you know, pre-purchase, pre-order, and then people abandon games or release a hot pile of garbage after they already have your money. And it's like the game industry, you can't even trust. Like, why even buy new games? Like, you might as well just buy the same old games that you have, like because you know that they're good.
Yeah.
And that's a good selling point for a console. They're like, you know what? Everybody's kind of putting out shit games except for a few developers. We might as well just like give the same old shit.
Nintendo has been still solidly releasing good stuff though.
But they're all. It's very few new IPs. Like, GameCube doesn't push the envelope, or not GameCube, but Nintendo doesn't push the envelope enough.
Well, right now they are working on stuff like Metroid Prime 4 has been in development for a little bit. They've got Breath of the Wild 2.
Breath of the Wild
Xenoblade.
was amazing.
So, Breath of the Wild was cool, but in terms of gameplay, there was not much to it. You got like very little enemy variety in a series that has normally
It's like
like
its
a
biggest
lot of
sell point.
enemy. Yeah. Like the shrines were cool, but once you do like 10 individual shrines, they all repeat the same pattern, just more to it at a time. So it was disappointing from a gameplay standpoint, but like the game at all was like pretty cool. Like I had fun for it, but at a certain point it was like it was a lot. Like they made a game for hardcore completionists, and same with Mario Odyssey. And I was like, I was into it for a little bit because like I usually like doing completionist stuff, but it was just so much that it was really. I don't have the word to describe it right now. It was just really taxing, I guess, is the easiest way to call it.
It's
Well,
like super grindy.
If you think
It
about
just took a long time. Like I think for a game that was supposed to be like Mario 64, it took about I don't know, like about the same amount of time it would take you to do like a casual playthrough of Skyrim. If it was like
So
if you wanted to
Okay,
100% it.
I remember one time Rock.
This is the
When I
ancient
first got
light.
Skyrim, I was like, oh, this
Try
game's
the
pretty
light
difficult, so I was
speed
playing on
dash
like the
towards
second
enemies.
hardest difficulty.
With
He was like,
this,
I
you
don't
can
think it
now do
is.
the light
And he
speed
played it on the
dash.
hardest difficulty and beat the game in like 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, wow, this game was really easy. He just rushed straight through the story. And I was like, wow. I mean, that was like... I don't even know what the speedrun for Skyrim is now.
I don't either. I've never actually really played Skyrim except for the time that you brought it over my house a couple of years ago. It's on the Switch now. They actually have a costume for your character to look like Breath of the Wild Link.
Todd Howard will show you every Skyrim that you want on any console. Just
So-
tells you on your cell phone if you really want to. It's
Skyrim
39
and Diablo
minutes,
are
22
pretty
seconds.
similar in the form that they will keep releasing the exact same game for the next 12 years on every single new console.
Dude, I don't want a new Diablo though. Like, I'm okay with
Diablo,
that.
Diablo 4 is coming out. Like they.
Well, no,
they
I know
announced it a
Diablo,
little
but like,
while ago.
I hope that it's just Diablo 3. You know, like I want Diablo 3 with some minor bug fixes, but still seasonal. Like, I don't want them to get rid of the season. I want the same game.
I want them to include the seasonal too, but from what they showed off for Diablo 4, it looks really cool. Like they're trying to make it a little bit more open worldy. What it seems like. Hello.
I would like
Okay.
a whole class role. I would for Diablo 4. I would be totally happy with 8 brand new classes, but literally the exact same game. Like that's how little I care about. Like,
showed barbarian, druid, and wizard. What? That didn't happen before. What?
So,
This
Austin,
game's garbage.
back to what you were saying about like the video game industry being fucked up right now. If you think about it too, I think most people are very irritated with the whole keep giving us money for shit, and just keep giving us money, and just keep giving us money for the same game.
well, the problem, well, like, so there's like 2, I guess, big groups of people play. I mean, no, it's not really like even groups of people. The problem is like we let companies take advantage of us, because even when a game produces like an alright game, they're like a horrible company. You know, it's you can't just, you have to decide between like a good game and, you know.
Well, look at all the microtransactions that are in games anymore. It's like, here, buy this game for $60. Oh, sweet. So it's a game like I used to play all the time? Well, sort of. The difference is you buy the game for $60, but then you still have to pay us like little increments of money over time, which will probably equate to maybe about $800 per person if you want to spend the money. Or you can spend like 30 years trying to play the whole game by yourself without any kind of monetary pushing.
Do you remember when I think it was the most recent Star Wars came out, they did it so you could buy Darth Vader with the in-game points or with the money, and after a few days of people grinding out the in-game points, they limited how much you could get the in-game points a day, so it would take a ridiculous amount of time, so you'd have to just buy Darth Vader with like $60.
Yeah, that was Star Wars
or
Battlefront
$40
too,
whatever.
but they changed that
Added
whole
revenue.
system because of the backlash that came from that.
Yeah.
And also because they were forced legally to do it.
And actually, yeah, see, here's the thing. DICE made the game. DICE programmed, like, put everything into the game. DICE made it. EA marketed it. So EA told DICE, this is how you're supposed to do this, and this is how we want this done. And when they got all this backlash from it, DICE was like, we kind of want to switch it. And EA told them, don't do it. If you switch it, we're not going to work with you anymore. And DICE went, go fuck yourself. And they changed the entire fucking game.
EA has no place in a modern
Neither does Activision.
Gaming
Activision
society.
is just as bad. Just no one talks about them because everyone loves Call of Duty. Keep giving me the
So
same game. Just like
I really feel like the problem about that is it's not even Call of Duty is an acceptable thing to me, and the only reason I see that why is because kids play Call of Duty, right? So I was 12 years old. I wanted Call of Duty World at War and Modern Warfare 2. You know, like I played those games because those games came out when I was young. But a 12-year-old who I'm 22 basically now, like a 12-year-old comes along. It's 10 years later. He has Call of Duty 12 and 13 that he's playing, or what fucking ever. But like those are the 2 Call of Duties that he grew up with. You know, so he'll play those 2 Call of Duties for like his whole fucking life probably. And it'll just, every generation we have like, oh, I'm into these 2 Call of Duties, I'm into these 2, I'm into these 3. I played Ghosts actually, you know, it was really fun.
Well, here's the problem with that one. They have instituted like the stupid little grindy little, oh hey, microtransaction bullshit into all the newer Call of Duties. These kids are being told that it's okay to gamble on a loot box. It doesn't matter what the loot box is for. It could be for anything. You're still gambling. And that's the problem with the gaming industry right now, is that everything is an extra.
I have a counter argument for you then. Do you believe that buying packs of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering cards and Pokemon cards is a form of gambling that kids should avoid?
That is not a form of gambling, only because
It
you're
is.
just buying
It is.
random cards. Now, if you're trying to collect each individual one, yeah, you're gambling on getting the same duplicates. However, it's not the same. You can't buy it from the comfort of your own home and just max out a credit card in no time. You'd have to actually
You
go
can.
to a
You
store.
absolutely can.
No, but you'd have to actually go to a store, and most of the time when adult cashiers see a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old walking up with 800 packs of something and a credit card, a red flag gets thrown up, and we're not selling this to you.
I do minorly agree
take
with Ronnie
5
on this
seconds.
because there's adult supervision at least in this case.
No, but you can take 5 seconds and go on the internet and buy 9 booster boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh, which is like $800, and you can get it in 1 click. Like, it's easy as fuck. Like, a kid can do that online in 1 second.
I think if this was like 5 years ago, then Ronnie's argument could be a little bit more solid. But
honestly, I forgot
times
about
have
online
changed.
buying shit. Like,
Well,
in all honesty,
5 years ago, I was pretty big into the card game industry, and I would buy a lot of shit online. Like, me, Rock, and my brother would buy ridiculous amounts of stuff.
But see,
yeah,
here's
but it
the thing,
wasn't as easily. When I say 5 years ago, I honestly always forget that it's 2020. I'm still thinking it's like early 2010 sometimes.
But those cards have a material value to them no matter what. Even if it's extremely low, they have a material value. My skin on Fortnite has no material value. It is a virtual piece of shit that is not worth anything to anyone but me.
Here's the reason why it's not gambling, because online, like, you get your fucking Fortnite skin, right? You can't trade that to another player, so it has no monetary value. So you're gambling for something that doesn't exist. It's not gambling, but for cards, it is, because they do have a real life value. So it is actually gambling. Otherwise, microtransactions, you're literally throwing money away for a piece of intellectual property. Like, but for cards, it's literally gambling, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, but what you're also saying there is that when you buy things for virtual games, you are throwing away money, as opposed to when you're buying cards, you're not necessarily throwing it away.
I'm saying it's gambling. No. Gambling is throwing money away no matter how you dice it. But I'm saying that if you buy something in a game where you bought it with real life currency and it is tradable, it's gambling. But if it's not tradable, it's just throwing money away. But gambling is still throwing money away. Do you understand what I mean?
I do understand what you mean. I don't agree with it. My thing is cards.
I can respect that.
Okay, for example, I used to collect Pokemon cards all the time. I like to collect them. So to me, it wasn't gambling because I just wanted to get new ones. It's like, okay, well, I got extra. Okay,
you trade with other players.
I would trade every now and then, but not a whole lot. But my thing is, now that I'm an adult, those cards have a material value that I understand, and that if I can sell those cards for a decent price, like I have an original fucking Charizard holographic. Like, if I could sell that to someone for like $75, as far as I'm concerned, hey, that's young me would be upset that I sold it, but me now, it's like I need the money. Yeah. But I can't do that with shit on Fortnite, fucking Call of Duty and shit like that. I wouldn't even consider CSGO, because how many fucking 12-year-olds do you know play CSGO?
I mean, well, I used to know a bunch of 12-year-olds when I was young, but now it's like 18, 19. Exactly. I don't even know how many people still play CSGO.
Oh, that's what I mean, though. Like, CSGO's not mainstream. I'm talking about the mainstream games.
I think CSGO is still pretty popular.
It's popular, but it's not mainstream. You don't hear about it. You don't hear about it, like, going into stores. You don't fucking hear about it on the news. You don't hear about it in TV and movies. You hear about everything else,
I don't think CS was ever in stores. I thought it was just
no, it's always been an online game.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. Because it's only online, it's not really well known. It's known to people who have Steam.
The reason for that is, Ronnie, is because you don't see it in TVs, because you mostly encounter PC game articles on the PC, like, and ads for PC games on your computer. Like, you're not going to see, like, play Civilization. I mean, you might have seen an ad for Civilization 6 when it came out on the TV, but, like, that's kind of different. Like, you would see those stuff on, like, a website. You wouldn't see it on, like, TV, because those people have, like, those are, like, console people, like, have... I mean, I don't have cable. I don't know about you guys. I don't really watch cable. I watch streaming services on my computer, because...
I haven't even seen them advertise games on TV anymore. I think all that stuff is just reserved from the computer, because those people who are going to be playing those are going to be on the computer. So they just save it for specialized ads, because everything is tracked. Yeah.
But okay, let's back to the point of microtransactions. So if you think about it, if I buy something for $5 and I say, oh, it was just $5. If I do that 100 times in a month, that's $500. If I do that 100 times every month for the entire year, that's like 5,000 $6,000, something like that. No, yeah, $6,000.
Oh yeah? Well, I'll show you.
That's $6,000 a year from one person. So if you think